Okay, so it's been about 3 weeks since I've arrived in Japan, starting around like the middle of January. And I wanted to do like a bit of an update for everything overall. Firstly, I've been making a lot of videos just using my iPhone, just like going around, walking around, and recording myself. My favorite places that I like to do it at are usually like the nicer places instead of just like random streets, like the castles. And I feel like I've seen so many nice places, but usually it's like when I'm spending time with others and like there's no time to just like go away and record. Or at least I didn't think of it back then. Now I'm sort of doing it a bit more because it's like it's so easy to just do it for like 5 minutes and then rejoin the group. So I'll be trying to do that more as we keep going because there's so many nice places in Japan in general and it just feels good to record in, you know? It's like some of my favorite things to just like record in those spaces because it helps me remember that I was there, you know? One of the reasons why I love taking photos and sharing them on Instagram as well as just memories. But that's one big thing that's definitely been different, like just filming a whole lot more of myself and my journey, just talking about everything. Um, we have been, we recently did some videos related to my, I'm gonna call them spheres for now, so kinetic sphere, so like my exercise and my general physical health. I would just call it the kinetic sphere. I like naming things in a fun way. But for that, I have been kind of weak in my opinion. The hardest thing we did actually was go on a hike, Mount Hiezan, and that was a really, really fun and beautiful hike. One of my favorite hikes I've ever done in my life, just because like getting up there, seeing the snow with the temple, it wasn't like super snowy, but it was just like snowfall a little bit, but it was like the perfect amount to make it like beautiful still. That was honestly amazing. My friend said that the word I said that day the most was beautiful. But seriously, great hike. And the company definitely helped. I would not do a hike. It was I think like 5 to 6 hours. I would not do that alone. It's just too much for me to do and kind of dangerous at the same time. She brought like a bear bell that I didn't even know like that there were that thing existed, a bear bell where it alerts the bears that you're there so they don't like so you don't encounter them. But yeah, that's like a new favorite activity that I have discovered that I want to try more of, at least once a month, is what I said in my video. But regarding the other things, my cardio fitness level has not really increased. So I've been trying to do a new routine with ChatGPT. I just started today. So I'll be releasing more videos with that. So that's my kinetic sphere. It's kind of been like flat, but I have been exercising in Japan, which is like more than I've ever done before, because every time I travel to Japan, even last year in language school, I did not exercise like at all, other than walking around. So for that, I gotta at least give myself credit. So that was good. And I'm also gonna change up the lighting just to check it out. But let's do the piano sphere next. So for piano, I've been working on this playing by ear thing for a while now. I released a video of 100 days of basically trying my best to gain the skill of playing by ear. And the new avenue that I've been heading towards is trying to like listen to this one song and fully understand it, fully understand the melody, fully understand the chords and everything like that. It's been tough. It's been tough because, excuse me, I feel like I need to just like actually do this session of listening to that song. It's been tough because I've been off track. So what I've been doing instead is I've been playing in every single key the very, very common chord progression of 1, 5, 6, 4, and just like learning how to play in every key signature like that pattern and improvising and also modulating between keys and stuff like that. So it's not like useless. I'm not like doing nothing, but I'm not doing the goal that I stated. So I kind of have to refocus there. But at the same time, I'm glad that I've improved for sure when it comes to like playing the chord progression in every single key. Like I can do it now way more comfortably than back then. So that's good. So I managed to at least gain some sort of piano skill while I'm here in Japan because I did buy a 61 key electric piano that kind of isn't amazing because any 61 key the touch of it, the hammer action, the simulated hammer action is not. It's just not it. It's like it needs more work. I wish they came up with one that had better action, but I guess that would make it significantly heavier as well, and bringing that thing around is going to be annoying. But that's the piano sphere. That's basically what we did. We're going to need to focus up. This is basically a review of everything, but also a weekly review. I've been trying to get back into actually doing reviews because on this channel I used to do like monthly reviews and talk about the whole month and everything, but I haven't done that in a while. And it's sort of like I am doing it, but I'm doing it like in parts. This is like a video where I'm talking about everything at once. So that was the piano sphere, music sphere. They're separate because I feel like they are kind of different actions. One is like learning a skill, and the other one is more so like creating my sort of art form in a way. So for this one, we managed to finish two originals, which were Ocean of Love, a sort of gift for my girlfriend's birthday, and then the second one is Adventure Overseas. Both of these are for my Remedy album that I'm going to be trying to release before the end of May, before my birthday, basically. So this has been something I've been talking about plenty of times, but I just want to finish that album before then because it's something that I started almost 2 years ago at this point, and I just feel like it needs to be finished. Otherwise, I keep letting it go on, and I don't quite feel the same things as I did before. And the Remedy, it has a whole story behind it. I'm not going to talk about it here, but I'll eventually talk about it. And it's good that I finished two. Like, I really, really like both of them, but I also feel like a part of me rushed a little bit, especially since I wanted to release Ocean of Love before my girlfriend's birthday. I was late by 2 days, almost. And for Adventure Overseas, that's something I wanted to finish before coming here. But that piece is now done. I finished it 2 days ago and spent like the majority of the day just finishing it off. And that was like a hard day, honestly. I was just in here the whole time, and I felt like I felt alone, but I also felt like just tired and exhausted, also because of the hike. So it's like a combination of so many things that made me feel the way I did. But that's another thing. It's not really a sphere that I consider. Actually, no, it is. It is. So I've created a new sphere recently. I've been reorganizing so many things in my life and the way I do things, and reflection sphere is what I call it now. It's basically how I see myself and my mood, my energy in terms of my spirit, not my physical energy necessarily, not my mental energy, but more so like how I'm doing and how, like, it sounds funky, but how my soul feels, like just like overall like perspective of life and everything. And there was a video, it was like exactly like this, where I was just talking to the camera where I'm sitting now, where I was talking about how I was lonely in Japan, and I felt lonely because I was just like in this apartment most of the time, and I wasn't. And at that point, I hadn't gone out to see friends yet. But since then, I've seen a lot of friends, and one of them left recently from language school. They did language school for a whole year, and they had a whole goodbye party at the share house, and it was nice to see some familiar faces as well, from language school there. It was a good time. Like, I've been going out a lot more, doing a lot of things. I feel like I'm gonna forget names, but I believe it was Nabano. It was just like a light show recently that's in Nagoya. That was so nice and so beautiful. I'm pretty sure I'll make like some sort of video related to it at some point, but that was super beautiful. We also saw Ghibli. I need to decide, say it in the English way or say it in the Japanese way. Ghibli Park in Nagoya as well. It was really big, and the main area was really nice as well. Definitely, I feel like I like the light show better though. If you're ever in Nagoya, if you can do both, then do both. But like if you had to choose between one or the other, that light show place was like honestly so beautiful. Like I loved it. Um, I heard from a friend that the Fuji lights are not going to be there forever. Like they change it every 1 to 2 years. So I'll probably go back there once they change it up. But honestly, even going back for just the Fuji lights, so beautiful. But other than other than that, like I don't want to get too sidetracked. It's been nice like connecting with people that I knew back then, like connecting with them even more since they're kind of like here in Kyoto long term. But at the same time, like I will be heading to Tokyo soon since that's something I've been saying on this channel for a while where I just want to try like being there for a bit, like 1 to 2 months. So my headspace is sort of like moving towards that direction where it's like, okay, I know we have friends here, but in Kyoto, but at the same time, like I want to keep doing my thing, keep working on my projects and everything. So that's what we'll talk about next, which is I guess I call it the adventure sphere. Right now, for the adventure sphere, there's like multiple things: the impact project and the side quests. So the side quest is essentially like me starting to do YouTube Shorts again, where I post a lot of stuff about like food. Mostly, I don't know why I decided to do this, but like there's like a video where I recorded. I can't remember when I started, but I was recording it and I just like took a bite out of something and then I was like recording it again. I was like, I kind of like this format. So I just decided to just continue doing that format for a whole bunch of like food I've been eating in Japan. And I don't know, it's just fun and very, very easy to do. So I, for whatever reason, I started that side quest. Um, I felt like doing it as well when I saw when I was in California and like my friends were showing me like food content in general, and I was like, yeah, that seems kind of fun to make, and I would like to try it. So that's me trying it. And then for the impact project, we have well, previously it was finishing certain videos, and the dating app video was one that I had in my mind for like a couple of months, for a while actually, since the summer of last year, and so it's good to actually finally like get it out there. Like I recorded it and did most of it in California already, but just so that video was already done, but like I finally got it out there, and it did pretty decent. 15,000 views as of this point, and I believe it's been a week since it's released. 15,000 views is not that much, obviously, but considering my channel has been like on a break for 1 to 2 years with like very little like actually effortful content on it, I think it's pretty decent. And the channel has 30 something thousand subscribers. I keep forgetting exactly how much, but half in 1 week is half of the subscribers for the viewership is pretty good for 1 week, I think. We'll see how it goes after a month or so, because I do feel like the pull-up video that I made, 100 no 100 days 30 days of 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups um, continuously. That video has about 15,000 views now, and I released it like I think like 2 or 3 months ago at this point now. So it's nice that this new video got the same amount of views within a week. So hopefully it keeps going up. I don't know, but there were definitely a lot of comments that I didn't have to respond, but I like responding as long as the comments are like thoughtful comments or comments that sort of require or not require, but like feel like they should be responded to in a way. I don't know, but that was fun to see. But the next project is a bit more serious, I'd say. The next project is me trying to create like some content related to learning Japanese, and it's a bigger project for sure. And I'm gonna have some native speakers help with that. And I have definitely been focusing up since I made a video a while back saying like, okay, there's this super obvious productivity thing that I'm not doing, which is just do the most important project, the impact project, in the very beginning of the day. So I've done that now for 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, yes, this makes so much sense. It's like instead of playing piano or practicing music or doing exercise, I just go straight to doing the work that is going to have a really big impact on a lot of things in the future. Like for instance, if it's successful, then that's potentially a lot of income, and then that makes it easier to like maybe do future projects because I can hire people for editing or something like that, right? So there's definitely there was definitely a disconnect back then that I'm now definitely like finally making sense of and doing, which is just do the impact project at the very beginning of the day and then exercise afterwards and practice piano afterwards and everything like that. I used to always exercise and practice piano first. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but at the same time, it still just makes perfect sense to do the biggest project in the very beginning of the day. Although part of my brain is kind of like, dang, but I like the mornings and I want to go out to like run in the morning and stuff like that, but we're just going to suck it up. It's either we wake up earlier to, put in the time allocation for the impact project and then we can go out earlier, or, you know, or you just can't do it, or you can't go out in the mornings. So I need to fix that as well, but my girlfriend tends to sleep pretty late, so it's kind of hard to also. I'm a light sleeper, so it's really hard to sleep earlier. But yeah, uh, that's the adventure sphere for the most part, and that's pretty much it. We also have the connect sphere. That's something we've been thinking a lot about lately, actually. So yesterday I watched like a dance show called D-Fly in Japan, in Kyoto, and it was a great show. I loved it. Dancers of all ages, as well as ranging from all like different styles as well. Um, Lots of great shows for sure. I was reminded of like my time in college when I did something called dance production. I was like a choreographer for 2 years. It was mostly for like breakdancing and that kind of style. Did a couple flips and stuff on stage and messed up. But great times, honestly. I miss those times. I feel like dance was always something I seriously loved when I did it, but I don't do it as much these days. I just exercise. Um, Part of me feels like maybe I should try to get back into it, but I'll see. I'll see. Either way, that sort of reminded me of like, I really need to actually go out there and try to look for community more because I'm still in this same place where I'm kind of like, I do love hanging out with my friends and I do love my friends in general, but most of what I do during the day, like for instance, when I practice piano or make music or make videos or edit videos, all that stuff, my friends don't really do that stuff. So it's like, I'm almost forced to be alone in those situations, unless I find a workspace or co-working space or something like that. That could potentially work as well. But my ideal lifestyle, I know it's hard to achieve, is to have others be doing the same things, like working on the same things, while I'm also working on them as well. Like for instance, like being able to live perhaps in a close to a community where I can like go there and then there are like people who are making videos together, or I can go there and people who are like practicing piano together or making music together, stuff like that. Like that to me is like the ideal version of my life, and I have taken zero steps towards that direction. So one of the big reasons why I want to go to Tokyo, which is kind of ironic why I'm not doing this in California. I honestly should do this once I head back to California, but one of the big reasons why I want to go to Tokyo is to meet more creative friends, and people where I can do and get closer to that lifestyle that I just mentioned. It's not necessarily, I think back then, this is definitely deeply rooted in how I ended up doing these things. My When I was in college, one of my closest friends, we decided to try certain projects together. Like I made a prototype of a game using Unity. We wanted to create some like app games and stuff like that. But during that time period, I was working with him, and I was like, it feels good, it feels fun. We're working together, and at a certain point, we split off because our goals began to change, and I was still trying to include other people in my journey, like my cousin and a different friend, and just asking them, and then more friends in the future as well. So all the time, I've been trying to include other people in my projects, and it was sort of out of like this desire to not be alone while doing these things. And I still have that desire, but now I'm like far more okay with just doing it alone just because I'm used to it. But I still feel like I would much prefer to do it with other people. It just feels more fun that way. And I still get the opportunity to create things with friends on occasion, but I don't know. A part of me really feels like I want it to be more of a lifestyle rather than like an occasional thing I do. But that takes time, and that takes like proof of concept as well as like having some level of success already. Otherwise, who's going to want to like work with you? Who's going to actually want to do these things with you, right? You kind of have to, like, that's the way I'm seeing it now compared to back then, where I was like, yeah, maybe it's possible. It's a bit of a naive version that I saw it as back then. But either way, for that sphere, the connection sphere, I'm I'm thinking about it a lot for the future for Tokyo, and going to really try to reach out to communities. And the dance event basically reminded me of that feeling. It's definitely like a feeling of still being alone in a way, which is ironic. We're in the same spot and talking about loneliness again, but yeah, it's definitely something I feel like I need to figure out in my life for sure, because I do still feel partly like alone in that regard, and it's not a good feeling, and I fully acknowledge that I still feel it, and I'm not trying to like deny it, I guess, and feel it. As another update though, for the reflection sphere, I have been doing really well with Zero Entertainment. It's been, I think, 25 days now, 25 or 26 days where we just have watched nothing, like zero video content, zero like browsing of social media, stuff like that. Just full on here, doing my stuff, doing my work, going out to see friends, seeing nice places whenever I can, making videos, working on my music, working on piano. Everything has been like really solid productivity overall. But at times I can feel the consequences of it, especially when I'm like in this apartment alone. I'm just like, normally it's easy to just like feel like you're not alone if you're watching entertainment, if you're watching some sort of show or story or something like that, because it's like you're seeing other people on screen digitally. So I definitely feel the consequences of that. It's like for the most part it's really good because I am securing my time, but at the same time it's like I'm still facing the consequences of my brain not getting that sort of feeling I would if I were watching stuff, because yeah, but it forces me to actually like try to seek out real interactions with people like my friends who are in Kyoto. So it's a good thing at the same time. It's not a bad thing. Trying to sort of live with that more, like understanding that feeling and feeling it and being okay with it as well. Definitely a lot. I'd say the past 3 weeks have been a lot for me. A lot of lessons for sure, and it's in some ways kind of tough, but I feel like we're growing from it for sure. And to me, that's like one of the most important things. This year for sure is feels like a growth year for me. But that's basically about it. Pretty long update overall, but I think last week has been, yeah, overall it's been a good week. good few weeks in Japan. We just gotta keep it moving towards in this direction. I feel like it's not like an issue of being distracted or not anymore. It's more so like how well can I perform, and how much can I give, instead of like, oh, am I even showing up to do the work? You know, it's like a different set of problems, which is really good. It's like moving towards the next stage of problems, and the next stage is definitely way harder, I'd say. Like after you get consistency down, like it, you realize that the work is really difficult, and it's totally understandable why, like there have been times where I'm like, it would be nice to just like relax and watch something like anime or something like that and not do much, but I just don't do that anymore. I don't know if it's like fully healthy or not, or mentally healthy or whatever, but let's see how this goes for however long that I do this for. I mean, I've told myself that I won't, that I'll continue Zero Entertainment for as long as long as I have not reached $3,000 from YouTube alone, YouTube AdSense, basically. And that's a long ways to go. But that video, the newest video, got me $60 though, $60 for that 15,000 views. So that's cool. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. This is my update so far in Japan, and I think the next phase is going to be more interesting of an update. But we're off to a good start. I definitely feel like the me from 3 weeks ago, who was like very disappointed and like in California being like, we totally failed at accomplishing certain things, that me would be happy to see that a lot of those things have been now accomplished. So yes, I'm also happy. Present me is also happy. Okay, now we got to end this for sure this time. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.